Please keep it going for Donna.
Yeah, Donna.
Hi, everybody. I'm just going to move the cord for the mic safety. There we go. Hi. I'm here tonight to tell a story for a good friend of mine, Deb, and her husband. We started going to the Story Slams with this story in mind, so hope you like it. It is late 80s. We probably all have a friend that is always the coordinator, that like, hey, let's everybody go here, let's go there. And we all had a friend that we worked with, and her name was Patty. And the trip that Patty coordinated was a ski trip. A nice 90-degree day like today, that's what you want to hear about. Well, this was a ski trip that we were sold on it, that you didn't really have to ski if you didn't want to. So 6 of us went on the ski trip, and really only 1.5 of us were skiers. So we were sold on this trip. We met in the parking lot at a shopping center in Upper Darby, and it was 6 of us in our mid-20s, and pretty much a whole high school class was the other occupants of the bus. And we were heading to the Catskills, and which I assumed is like the Poconos, but apparently it's on steroids, where in the 50s there were summer camps and all kinds of, dirty dancing type places up there. The movie, I mean. So what we did was, so we get on the bus, and it was boombox city time, so you weren't wearing your ear mics or anything. They had a big, huge boombox, and the whole way up, probably at least 50 times, Funky Cold Medina by Tone Loc was played continuously, so on the way up and on the way back. But in the meantime, we got to this lovely chalet kind of place that looked like it just dropped in from Germany into the Catskills. And we get there, and we're thinking, okay, this is gonna be fun. Then they have all these activities the next day. You can go skiing, you can go go-kart riding, you can go horse riding, and then they had the trip the next day to go to where you'd want to go up there, where the big, huge, the best concert of the millennium was Woodstock. So we went to Woodstock the following day. But when we first got there the first night, it was drinking, it was beer, and college kids, and then the high school kids, who knows what they were doing. But we learned some new words. Whippet, I thought it was a dog. But apparently it's not for those under 18 here. But people were doing those, and I didn't know what they were, and had no interest, and still don't. But anyhow, so we did a lot of beverage drinking that night. The next day, we didn't go skiing. We went go-kart riding, and it was like a sloppy day. It was sort of snowy elsewhere, not where we were, but supposedly on the ski slopes there was snow, but we didn't see any when we got up there. So we get up there and we go-kart riding, we're in line, we're ready to go on. This kid gets off, covered with mud. The whole track was cindery and chocolate mud, so that kid saved us, so we didn't go there. So we, of course, went back and had a few more beverages, and then we decided that we're going to go to the horseback riding event. So we went horseback riding with the biggest, huge horses that apparently they're also called drafts, like draft beer we had a lot of. And the horses basically took off with several of us on the ride. So it was a very, one of us almost jumped a fence and screaming. Just imagine your worst horseback trail riding event. We were on it. So then, to continue the fun, the next day we decided, let's still not go skiing, let's go to Woodstock. So we took a bus from the Catskills, that was organized throughout the ski trip up to Woodstock. It was a lunch, little shopping, back home because we had to leave, it was Sunday. So we got up there, bus was packed with people. There was 3 of us that went on the trip, and we get there and the bus driver was saying, you better be here on time. If you're not, I'm not gonna wait. So we were all like, this guy may mean it, we better get back early. So we, we're shopping, we have lunch, we get there 10 minutes early, and just as we're where we need to be, we see a bus taking off a couple blocks away. And we're like, is that the bus? But it was us, the 3 of us, with about I think it was about 9 people from Brooklyn that were also on the bus. So I'm like, there were 11 of us, so it must not have been our bus. Maybe it's still coming. So we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting, no bus. So then we're like, we were left in Woodstock. We had to get home or else we were stuck there. And it was before credit cards and you know, we were all in our mid-20s. We barely had a nickel to rub together. And after shopping and lunch, we actually found out that we had $31 together between all 11 of us. So we were stuck, we didn't know what to do. So, you know, the hotel was saying you're on your own, there's no cabs, this and that. So we just walked to the shopping center and all 11 of us were trying to figure out, oh my God, what do we do? So they have a food co-op on there and it's very crunchy and everyone's very nice and they're all like just looking at us like, yes, we can't help you. In drives a rinkety, fallen apart, orange VW bus with what looks like Willie Nelson's younger brother, like, you know, hair. I think he had tube socks on for socks because it was cold. So he's driving in and he's going to the co-op for some food. So I run over to him and grab for safety one of the other Brooklyn girls that we met in this instance. And I'm like, come on up, let's go talk to him. So we talked to him and we said, look, we need a ride to get to the hotel. And the guy's like, oh yeah, you know, let me get my groceries and then we'll drop it off and come back. We're thinking he's never gonna come ever back. He does come back. So we all get into his car that had about 2 feet of McDonald's wrappers and bags in it, all in the back of the car, and a little beagle dog in the back. And so I was the brave one, so I got to sit in the front seat, and 11 other people sat in the back seat, or you know, the rest of the crew with the dogs. They had candy. They were giving the dog chocolate-covered cherries, which you shouldn't do, and the dog was loving it. But anyhow, for I think it was $31, Dwayne actually drove us there, saved the day, and we all made our buses and got home. So Woodstock is a fun place to be, and if you can hook up with Dwayne, he'll make it funner. So,